What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Kilo Loco, and today we're going to be going over how to change the color of an image that you have, imported into your project. So it's actually a very simple and straightforward tutorial, and we're going to try to keep it quick. And as you can see right here on the screen, we have two images that look almost exactly the same. Well, they do look exactly the same, and as of right now, you can't tell the difference. But what I wanted to show you is that they're actually slightly different, and you are only able to see the difference when you change the background. So let's go ahead and change the background to a different color. And as you can see, this one's actually hollow. So the white space that you would see before is actually it's transparent. There is no background right here. Whereas this image does have a background. It's automatically white. Now, if you're working with an image like this is perfectly fine. It's usually, sometimes you get assets in your project and they have white backgrounds because the rest of the view is going to be white. So, I mean, that's fine. But what I want to recommend to you is that you try to get assets that are hollow, that are going to show the background, right through. So in case you need to do something like change the color of the asset, then it works a lot easier. Now, the way that we're going to change the color of this asset is to simply change how the image is rendered, and we can actually do that right here in Xcode through the assets folder. So if we go over to our assets, we have the two. You see, this one's the hollow one, and then this one is the one with the white background. If we go over here, select the image, and then we go to the attributes inspector, what you'll actually see is render as, and it's going to say default. Now, default essentially means render it as it was meant to be rendered, essentially as a regular image. However, and that's what original image is. So the default is going to be original image. But if you want to be able to change the color of an image, what you have to do is you have to change it to render as template. So we need to change it to template image right here in the render as. So let's go ahead and do that for the one with the background as well. And we're going to say render as template right there. All right, so let's go back over to our main storyboard right now. And as you can see, what happened was now they both turn blue and we have a different effect going on. What ends up happening is when you render it as a template, what it's doing is it's taking anything that has color and converting it to essentially like an outline. And anything that's transparent is just going to stay transparent, which is why this one is staying transparent, whereas this one that had a background, you can no longer see what the logo used to be. And that's because it's going to completely ignore all colors, and it's just going to take essentially anything that had color and turn it into a background. Now, the reason that it's blue is because by default, you'll see that the tint for an image view is by default, it's blue. If we wanted to go ahead and change that to something else, like, purple, we can go ahead and do that. And as you can see, we can just go ahead and choose any custom color. This popped up on my other screen. We could choose any color and it will automatically be rendered as that color, which is pretty cool. Now, there's one thing that you also want to keep in mind is that remember that this image view did have stripes. So let's go ahead and change that back so that we could take a look at it. And we're going to say as original image, or we could have done default, whatever. Oh, I chose the wrong one. Let's go ahead and do this one right here. We could do as original image. It doesn't matter. Default and original image. That's essentially the same thing. And as you can see, they both have stripes in them. Anywhere there's purple, so it's like a darker purple and then a lighter purple. So they're striped, right? So when we go over here and we're rendering it as template, remember that I said that it's completely ignoring any colors. It's no longer going to render it as an image that has colors or any distinction between whatever's going on inside the image. It's simply going to take whatever had color and convert it all to whatever the tint color is. So that's pretty much it. That's all you really have to do. And we could do the same thing for down here. If we wanted to change it to a different color, it's just going to be the entire thing. No matter what color we choose, it's just going to be, a giant block because it had that white background in it. Now, one last thing before we close up, because it's really simple. It's just that simple. Is that let's say we didn't want to just make these images rendered as template. Maybe in some areas we want to use them as just the regular image. In some areas we want to use them as the as the template. Well, what we can do is we can set them back to default, just how they were before. We can see that they're both how they were before. And in our view controller, I have references to both of the image views. So you can see the top image view and the bottom image view. I think it's kind of self-explanatory which one's which, right? Right. And what we can do is we can do this through code as well. All we have to do is we have to grab we have to get it reference to the image and make sure that we say with rendering mode, which is a method on images that allow you to change how they're rendered. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so as you can see, all we did was, once again, we created a reference to the image. I had to access it through its name, so UI image name, that's the name of the hollow one. And then we're saying dot with rendering mode, and we're setting that to dot always template. So once again, that's just going to change it to a template, which means it's ignoring all the colors and just using anything that had color as an outline. Then we're just changing the top image view, its tint color. We're going to change that to green, so the top one's going to be green, and we're setting the image to the top image right here. And then we're doing exactly the same thing with the bottom image. Apparently I don't know how to name images short, so this is the really long one with the background, and we're doing the same exact thing as above. Always template, tint color is orange, and then we're setting the bottom image to the bottom image view's image. So let's go ahead and run that and see what that looks like. Alright, and as you can see, I have this green one, which we set the tint color to green, and then we have this orange one because we set the tint color to orange. And once again, just to show you that I ain't pulling nothing crazy, we're just going to go ahead and comment these out right here and go ahead and just rebuild it, just so that we can see that those are the two colors that are essentially affecting it. Oh, well, it's not, because we actually have the storyboard. Let's go back to the storyboard and change that back to default tint colors. So we got that one defaulted to blue, and we're going to do the bottom one defaulted to blue. So now they're both going to be turning blue. There we go. And then just to show you that with the rendering mode is actually causing that, we're just going to press enter right here, and we're going to comment that out. And we're going to see everything go back to normal. And there we go. So we're back to where we were. So that's how easy it is to change the image view. Just keep in mind that if your image does have details in it, those details are going to go away. And if it has a background and it's not hollow, you will not get any detail that's inside of the image. It's just going to be this one nasty blob. So that's all we're going to do for today. Hope you found this useful. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any topics that you want covered by me, make sure you leave it in the comments below. If you want to support the channel, hit up kiloloco.com. Sign up for the all access membership, which is where I'm going to have all my exclusive content, as well as, if you like the shirt, keep coding passionately. You go buy one of those shirts. Link is in the description as well. So that's going to be all for today, guys. Thank you for your time, and I will catch you later. Now, go out there, keep coding passionately.